Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to you from a very chilly Gauteng this morning. All right, so from me, on behalf of everybody who worked on the webinar, thank you very much. And let's say a warm welcome to everyone on behalf of myself and the other two presenters. We are doing today the webinar on schools that relates to audit, examination, and financial reporting. My name is Letty Janse van Vuren, and I will be your facilitator today. We have got two guest presenters, and we should be finished well in advance of 2 o'clock. Each presenter has about an hour roughly to present. We're going to start off with the two guest presenters, and then I'll take over for the home stretch. Right, that's me. For those of you who have not been to my webinars before, I do see that we have quite a couple of new names. So let's just let me just briefly tell you what I do. This is what I do for a living. I'm a professional trainer and a webinar host. So I do a lot of the technical stuff at SAAA, and then I also do a lot of technical consulting for auditing and accounting firms specifically. All right. Whenever they need help with policy documents or customization of policies or help, you know, the URBA is coming or help being visited by one of the regulators, I'm the port of call, and then I also do some monitoring in terms of quality inspections. All right. But that's all about me. The instructions where to download the slides for the webinar. On the right-hand side, you should have a little item where your chat is, where it says shared files. So you should be able to see the shared files there. Otherwise, it will be uploaded to your SAAA profiles as well. All right. If we look at what's on the agenda for today, we're going to start off with an introduction. We're going to look at the SGBs, the root causes, and so forth. And we're going to have our two guest presenters for today. We are very fortunate to have these specialists on hand that can certainly make our lives a little bit more easy and give a lot of clarity, I think, in terms of the whole public schools and how to deal with it, and a little bit of background and everything. Right, so I really look forward to listening to the guest presenters today. Then I'll be taking you through the legal framework. We're going to look at the circulars issued, the audit versus examination issue, professionals assisting schools, who the role players are. I'm also going to be looking at the Department of Basic Education guideline for the preparation of public school financials. This is our main item for today. Right, going to look at that one, and then I'm going to look at the source and bonus documents just again that I've just shown you, and then just a little bit of an in closing. All right, so that's what's on the menu for today. Before I hand over, I just found this wonderful quote. It's a very well-known quote by our dear departed President Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And it's absolutely so true. And then I found this unknown quote, and I thought, this is just so relevant about schools and about just life in general, and basically companies, whether it's a school, whether it's a body, whether it's an entity, anything that you manage. Sometimes it's not about the money, but rather the process of managing money. And I thought that's very relevant even to our webinar today. Okay. So we're going to start off with our introduction now. What I've done is, just in case anybody used these abbreviations on the slides, you'll see that there is a slide with all the abbreviations on. SASA being the South African Schools Act, BELA being the Basic Education Law Amendment Act, and the bill. PIE or PI is a public interest entity as it is defined by URBA. SGB is a school governing body. DBE, the Department of Basic Education, and then we've got SAICA, which is the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants, and SAIBA being the South African Institute of Business Accountants. Right, so those are the abbreviations that will be used today during the slides. We're now going to look at our two guest presenters' slides very briefly, and I'm going to hand off first of all to Mr. Lucky Ronald Minua, and he will take us through the first hour or so. So, Lucky, can I hand off to you? I'm going to keep myself on mute. You'll see today that his presentation will be available to you as a source document, so don't fret. Very interesting to listen to, Lucky. Right. Thank you. Enjoy the guest presentation. Over to you, Lucky.
Thank you, Letitia. So my name is Lucky Ronald Minwe. I'm a consultant. I'm based in the Western Cape. I'm from born and bred in Johannesburg. So what is happening in my life currently is that by day, I am a social worker, wellness social worker, rendering services for different companies. They call them employee assistant program. But what is dear to my heart is that I'm an activist in the social justice sector, and education is one thing that I'm very passionate about. And it's something that I continue to do even if I've got a full-time job. I have partnered in the Western Cape with the Betha Center, which is housed by UCT. And then what we do, we provide support to school governing boards. And what is interesting in the Western Cape, there's a great relationship between private schools, public schools, and independent schools. So I'm getting to learn how governance manifests itself in different settings, in a private school, in a public school, and independent schools, which is quite interesting because in other provinces where I've done this job, focus is only on public schools, as if there are only challenges in public schools. And how I've framed my presentation today, I have framed it in a way that is going to focus on the challenges that we come across as people working in the sector on a day-to-day basis, especially when it comes to financial management in schools. And the challenges for me emanate from just the concept of the South African Schools Act aiming to create a uniform standards for all public schools to operate the same way, which is a big challenge because of the regulations of the provinces, because of the different, there's some provinces you still use quintile systems, and the former Model C schools all being grouped together as if they operate the same. So my presentation is going to focus on that because when it comes to financial management, that act as a hindrance in schools really achieving what is intended for, especially with introducing SGBs in 1994. Generally in South Africa, when we have almost 25,000 public schools. 23,000 of these schools are public schools. And I'm always skeptical with how the Department of Education conduct the elections of school governing boards, because it is very important that at that stage we start knowing who do we want to be a member of an SGB in a school. And because of the democratic process that we use in appointing these SGBs, which is elections, the process get a little bit diluted to really identify people who are fit and proper to serve on these SGBs. And this does not apply to all public schools, but where there are challenges, the process of elections seems, I think it needs to be strengthened in a sense that we don't have a pool of parents and guardians who are waiting to serve on this board, who are equipped with skills before they stand for these elections. So anyone can come and stand for these elections, and some people who stand for these elections are people who do not have the best interest of learners and the schools at heart. Most people who stand for these elections are people who want to advance their political careers. For example,
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.